The experiences that we have from the moment we are created impact the way our body and our brain develops. The experiences that we have as a young child in particular very much are determinant of our health as an adult. And back in the late 90s, there were a couple of doctors who started a profound research study on this issue, which is called Adverse Childhood Experiences. There were over 17,000 participants within this study, and it has been validated and replicated, the findings that they discovered over and over again, and has been cited over 37,000 times in medical and professional journals. So it's an extremely reliable and valid study, because what it found was that adverse childhood experiences impact our health, our mental health, our behavioral health, and our physical health as adults. For example, someone who has 4 or more ACEs would be 20 times more likely to attempt suicide. They would be 40 times more likely to be an IV drug user. As far as alcoholism, if you had 6 or more ACEs, you would be 6 times more likely to develop alcoholism. You would be twice as likely to develop COPD. And there are other many medical issues that have been correlated as well. So with these adverse childhood experiences, some of the things they found were, first, that ACEs are very common. Of the original 17,000 participants, 67% had at least one adverse childhood experience that they went through. They also tend to come in clusters. So if you have one ACE, you are 87% more likely to have 2 or more ACEs. So they're very common, they come in clusters, and they impact our mental, physical, and behavioral health as adults. They looked at 10 particular adversities in children's lives, which were physical, sexual, and emotional abuse, physical and emotional neglect, parental separation or divorce, mental health issues within the family, substance abuse issues within the family, having an incarcerated parent, or domestic violence within the family. And what they found is there was a dose gradient response. So the more adverse childhood experiences an individual has, the more likely they are to have these issues as an adult. So what can we do to help? Is developing relationships. That's one of the most profound healing things we can do as a community, is to have caring, competent adults in our kids' lives. So just learning what ACEs are is number one, and looking at how can we connect children in need to these individuals in our community, and how can we begin to have honest conversations within our community about where are we hurting and what do we need to do better for our children. And through this training, we trained 9 St. Joseph School District staff and 23 community professionals to become Master ACEs trainers. And what they will do is they will go back to their staffs and help them understand what ACEs are. And then in turn, we will also be working with educating our parents in our community on what ACEs or adverse childhood experiences are. I'm passionate about this program. What I feel is that it is one of the most hopeful things I've come across in mental health. And I think that's what we need. We need to be thinking about mental wellness and what we can do. And ACEs shows us that we have that commonality, that many, if not all of us, have gone through these adverse childhood experiences, but there's hope and there's healing, but it takes a community effort to do this. We can't do it on our own. And so that's why we need to pull together and learn and talk and grow to make a difference in each child's life. There's a quote that comes to mind when thinking about where we need to head as a community, and it comes from an African tribe. And what they actually ask is interpreted not as, "How are you?" or "How's your day going?" But when they greet each other, what they say is, "And how are the children?" And that's my question to our community. And how are our children? And what can we do as a community to improve their lives? Because trauma is an intergenerational thing. And as we learn more about it, as we work on ourselves and our own pain and work towards healing, we become better parents and in turn impact that next generation and the generation from there and the generation on.